Hello everyone and welcome to today's Daily Trade Watch brought to you by the Live Trade Room. Now today is Wednesday the 11th of July, so without further ado, if we could start as we always do with our risk warning. Please obviously do make sure you familiarize yourself with the risks involved in trading these financial markets. Okay, so without further ado, let's get straight into the charts then. And to just expand a little bit in terms of what this Daily Trading Watch video is all about, it's a few minutes where what we're going to look to do is to identify some potentially high probability opportunities based on solid technicals, also with an understanding of the fundamentals behind these markets. So we want to draw your attention to a few opportunities today. The first one is a blend between the dollar index and the euro dollar. So what we can see currently up on screen, and it's something that we discuss with our traders all the time. We're looking for significant levels of support resistance when we trade these markets. So just to backtrack just a little bit, we saw a really explosive move here back in April, early May, and again. Just a few days later, we got the extension. We got a really strong move up to the $95 level, and then we've effectively got a triple top. Now that's obviously a concerning, preventing prices from pushing higher. But as you can see, we have this sort of this formation setting up where there is still a strong bias to the upside in this market. But the market conditions, as we currently see them, for the last since mid-May, is very much in a sideways moving pattern. So we must take that into consideration. But we do look at this area just in here, and we do potentially identify the potential for prices to push higher from these levels. So as a result, if we want to go ahead and look for opportunities to trade this, what we're actually looking for is a break of its first line of defense would be the daily high, which would be roughly the 94.18 level. And this level might vary slightly depending on what platform you're currently trading with, but just look for a breakout above this level. And what that would constitute is the potential for this price to squeeze higher, even if it's only the short term, because what we're very likely to do is to attack the $95 for at least the fourth attempt. Now, what happens up at this level, we will still sort of wait and see. But short term, we're looking for a little bit of explosive move. Yes, we do have some tricky fundamentals building in the background, i.e. Trump's trade war with China, and of course, regarding tariffs and trade-related issues and concerns. There's also geopolitical issues and turbulence with Russia and the EU as well. So it's definitely a turbulent background, but we would definitely look for opportunities to buy this market above the 94.18 level. Same situation really applies when we look at the euro dollar. So it might be a case of either trading one or the other, not necessarily both of these markets at the same time. And what we're looking to do is to sell this market below the 16.87. So it is effectively yesterday's low. And again, this is an inverted picture of the dollar index. So that's why we're really suggesting to either trade the dollar index if we get the explosive move higher, or the euro dollar if we get that explosive move to the downside. So that's what we're really looking to do. And we'd expect this price to at least squeeze down to these lower levels again. The reason why the directional bias is to the downside is because we've been in this downward trend for a little while now, and we expect it to continue. So unless that changes, that's what we're looking to do with the euro dollar. So flicking through the remaining markets, there's some opportunities potentially in the pipeline, but certainly not tradable for us as of yet. So this is all a part of our ability to select trades. Now, a trade we'd like you to keep an eye on, not necessarily to trade today, but would be a break above the 111.38 level. And the reason why that's quite important is because this would represent a really strong structural failure above a weekly and monthly high at the 111.38, and it would constitute a breakout of this sort of descending trend line. So for a number of reasons, it would definitely be worth keeping an eye on and looking to trade potentially over the next couple of days. Certainly if we get a break above that 111.38. So flicking through some of the other markets that we would like an opportunity to get involved in. And the first one is the dollar CAD. Now, the ideal setup is the 30 to trade this market above the 31.42. We're currently at the 31.53 level, and we're just looking at this lower trend line. It is providing with an opportunity and a level of support at this price. The first entry was the 31.21. The second entry is just above yesterday's high, so it's just a little bit above that at a 31.44, and we're currently in that phase. But as things stand so far, this is potentially just a pullback as things stand. So we would certainly look to capitalize on a pullback trade, which is is the type of trade that's currently setting up. But we do expect this market to continue higher and potentially even push up to the weekly highs of the 32.23. So the other market as well. So we're going to look at either the dollar index, the euro dollar, and the buying the dollar CAD, but we'll also look at selling the New Zealand dollar. And again, we look to trade support and resistance. So we're looking to see, has this market pulled back to a level of resistance? We can clearly say yes. The first entry was yesterday below the 68.29. Second entry today is below the 68.04, and we're currently at the 67.89. So, and we do expect this market to continue lower. So any opportunity to capitalize on a pullback in the New Zealand dollar would be certainly worth looking at. Now, that concludes basically the opportunities that we've identified across the dollar pairs. We do like the idea of the euro yen pushing higher if we can get a close above the 130.38. So an ever so marginal close there 2 trading days ago, but we want to see this market continue to the upside, and we're currently in this market as well to the upside on a daily time frame, and we're currently selling the New Zealand dollar to the downside. So it fits in perfectly with our view, with our overall view of these markets. Significant indecision regarding the euro pound, so we're not fans of that market as things currently stand. The S&P looks like it's going to attack the 27.97 level once more, and that is a really significant level. It's in line with all these previous highs. On 4 attempts, we've had rejections of these levels. So if we get a break above those levels, we could be pushing up to all-time highs before we know it. Do bear in mind the potential to the downside as well. That obviously does exist. The Dow Jones, it's looking positive as things stand, but a lot of indecision with these equity markets, none more so for the impact that the central banks are having with the interest rates, and also quantitative easing and monetary policy, but also global trade wars and geopolitical tensions, the Iranian nuclear deal, and the pressure that the US are putting on its allies in the way that they treat Iran, and OPEC. And there's lots of issues with regards to that can really impact the US equity space. And none more so, and we can see it visually really in front of us, as the FTSE market, we're getting gapping. We're seeing gaps to the upside, gaps to the downside, making new highs, making new lows. So it's very, very choppy price action here over the last 3 weeks. So just be careful of that. The gold market, we do like this market to extend lower, and this is the other market. It's very well worth keeping a close eye on. Now, working with the daily lows, a break below the 12.47 would constitute potentially a good opportunity to get into this market. Yes, we could have got into this market higher, but without doubt, the 2 previous days are pretty choppy, impacting the gold market. And just to finish off with crude oil, you can see the indecision is in at these levels around the $73 level. So we're struggling to break above the weekly highs of 75.25 and the weekly lows of the 72.13. So as long as we're in this space right now, we're going to reserve judgment on the crude oil market. The government bonds just moving sideways for a good 3-week period. As you can see, we're waiting to see a breakout in either direction. Again, we don't mind from a technical perspective which direction these markets move, but we are looking to wait and be very, very patient. Okay, so just to review, we are looking to potentially buy the dollar index just above the 94.18 level. The euro dollar would be the same trade, but just below the 1687. So we're trying to be very accurate and concise with what we're looking to do. We do over a longer term, and certainly not today, but maybe tomorrow and the day after, if we do get this market breaking above the 111.38, then we will look for an opportunity to buy the dollar yen. But in terms of a tradable opportunity today, we could look for a pullback in the dollar CAD. As things stand, it doesn't look great, but if you do start seeing momentum come into the upside, then it could be a great opportunity there, and a pullback below the 6804. So if this price pulls back to 6800 and you get an opportunity and a turnaround, it could be worth trading below that level. And the final market to keep an eye on is the gold market, below yesterday's low, which is the 1247. It's below the 1250 level where these prices currently sit as things stand. So we do expect the gold market to continue on its journey to the downside unless something significant changes. Okay, so that just about concludes then today's daily trade watch. So do feel free to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. The details are there currently up on screen. And of course, so all that's left for me to do now is to thank you very much for joining us. Do take care, and we look forward to seeing you next time. And if you want more information about the products and services we offer, then please do go to our website at thelivetraderoom.com. There's currently a free trial available without any obligations of any kind. So do have a look at that, and we look forward to seeing you all soon. From everyone here, take care and bye for now.